So I never thought I'd make this many dethatching videos, but it turns out the internet can't resist a good dethatching video. So I decided to buy this new Ego Dethatcher and do my yard again. In this one, I'm going to take a little bit of time to compare this one to the other ones that I've used, kind of the results that I got, and then talk about some of the questions that have popped up in my previous videos of like, what is dethatching, when do we do it, and what it actually does for your lawn. So stick around, let's see how this thing works, and hopefully I'll talk about something that you need to know.
So it's been a while since I've done this, and yeah, I kind of let the lawn go. But in my defense, I was a little busy having some fun tearing it up and doing some other projects. If you want to know how to fix a gutter downspout drain, I now have a video on that as well. But in the name of starting to get this yard back on track, now is a great time to dethatch again and test out a brand new tool. The first step of the process is to mow it low, scalp it, and then bag the clippings. This is what's going to make it so much easier for the Dethatcher to get down in the lawn and do what it does. Unsponsored plug, I'm really liking this Toro 30-inch Time Master. Maybe I'm going to have to check out Ego's 30-inch mower. So this is the relatively new Ego Dethatcher, and I'm testing it out for the first time. It's a two-part machine, and it's one of their many tools that fit into their multi-head power unit. And I'm really starting to like Ego tools, and the power unit looks really cool. So it's something that I'm starting to invest in with my own money over the course of this year and testing out a few of those on the channel. After a little bit of struggle and making it way harder than it needed to be, I finally got the Dethatcher attached to the power unit and got going. I had the power unit set to the highest speed setting, but unfortunately to start, I made the mistake of having it in the least aggressive setting, which I definitely had to switch because I want to see what this thing can really do and how much grass it can really get out of the lawn. I started off by going up and down on the lawn for the first pass, and after a few passes, I figured out holding this thing with only one hand rather than two was the way to go. The only problem is, my arm was starting to get really tired, because this thing isn't light. Eventually I did get the hang of switching hands at the end of each pass, and that helped a ton to balance out the weight from one side to the other. And then it worked great because I didn't have to walk in the dead grass from the previous pass as well. At this point, it looked like the machine was doing a very similar job to the other power rake machines that I've tested in the past. Similar pace, similar power level, and the amount of grass removed is just about the same as well. The main difference with this one is it's the first battery one that I've ever tested, which is a huge plus not worrying about the extension cord. Although the downside of this is that the heavier power unit you're actually holding, unlike the other ones where the electric motor, the heavy part, is resting down by the ground, almost like you would push a lawnmower. Although I really don't think that matters too much because all of these machines end up pulling you forward the way that they work and the way that they're raking as you use them. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with the way this is working. After the first pass was complete, I mowed the lawn again at the same height as before. Using the bagger on the mower is by far the easiest way to pick up the grass, and I think it gets most of it. So almost every time I've dethatched, I've done multiple passes over the lawn, and I go in a different direction each time. The hope is behind this that I'm trying to get the different areas that I may have missed on the previous pass, and I also think that it ends up getting more grass out of the lawn because you're pulling at the grass from a different direction or a different grain pattern. And then in my experience, you can keep going over it really as many times as you want, and each time you're going to continue to get more grass out of the lawn, but each pass that you do, you're going to get less and less. For me, I think going two different directions is about the sweet spot. But the first time I ever did this, I went over it 4 times, and I was still pulling out a decent amount of grass on that 4th pass. So I guess it just depends on how aggressive you want to get. One warning that I would give is this whole process does stress out the lawn, so probably less passes in the summer or warmer months is ideal. You can get away with going a little bit more aggressive in the spring or in the fall. Then for the final cleanup, I decided to use the blower to clean up the mess. Manual raking probably does the best at getting everything, but nobody wants to do that. So I figured the blower does a little bit better job than the mower, but is way less effort than raking. But then I did cheat a little bit here at the end, and I used the mower to suck up the windrows. So as you can see here, I got a decent amount of material out of the yard. Looking at the color difference really proves what we're doing here. The clippings from the first mow are mostly a lush green from the tall part of the grass that was actually actively growing. Then the yellow clippings are, of course, that dead grass, aka the thatch, that was below the level that the mower was even cutting, lower than what I would normally cut before, and that's what was pulled out by the power rake. I think this is probably the coolest part of the whole thing because we can really see what was hiding down in the lawn, pulled all this stuff out of here, and it really showcases the whole point of why we're doing this whole thing, trying to get all that dead grass out of the lawn. Now at this point, I have everything opened up and it's a great time to fertilize and put on a pre-emergent. At the time of filming this, it's getting a little later in the spring than I would have liked, but it's still the best time for me to apply a pre-emergent and a crabgrass prevention. This is going to create a barrier down deep in the lawn that's going to hopefully help keep new weed seeds from germinating. The other weeds that I already have currently growing are going to be a future problem that I'm going to take care of in a few weeks. Finally, here from the end, looking at our results, it's easy to see a color change in the yard. A little less yellow, and you can definitely see more exposed bare dirt where it's been opened up and exposed, ready for the next step of the process.
All right, so that whole process that you just watched took me a few hours on a weekend and really was something fairly easy to do. Something easy enough that I think really any average person could go out and do there. Not that I'm above average, that's why I can actually do this well. But that being said, it's something that is going to get results anybody can do. It's a decent amount of work, but anybody can get done. So, Ego Dethatcher worked awesome and did great, but before I get too deep into that, let's talk about this whole dethatching thing real quick. Okay, so dethatching is very popular on YouTube. It's very popular on the internet for multiple different reasons, but what is it actually? I'm no professional, but what I understand about dethatching is that we are just removing dead grass or debris from your lawn, or from our lawns. And it is something naturally occurring. It's something that happens, and you actually want a thatch layer in your grass, but when there gets too much of it or too much buildup, that's when we need to use a process that one of these machines can do and get rid of some of that so that we can promote an area where water, nutrients, potentially seed can get down into that soil, and also opens up an area so grass can expand and grow. Okay, so when we look at our lawns, we have the green grass on top. Then below that, if we look a little bit deeper, we can see a thatch layer. And we want, from what I understand, about 1/4 of an inch to about 1/2 of an inch of a thatch layer. And when I think about this thatch layer, I really think of like straw. When you're planting something new or seeding something, you put that straw layer over top of the seed and over the dirt, so that helps lock into that moisture and protects the seed. In this case, the thatch is locking in water, nutrients, and protecting the roots of the plant that are right on the top of the soil and then below. And so it's a really healthy thing for the grass, and we want it there. It just builds up too much over time. So these machines are becoming very, very popular because in the past, the way that you would get rid of this thatch was renting a big, heavy machine from a rental place, and I've used those before. They're not that bad, but in my mind, they're a little bit too aggressive, and that's why I like something like this. For the same price that we can buy one of those machines, or rent one of those machines for, we can buy one of these, and this one's a little bit more expensive, but still the same premise applies. We can have our own machine that we can rent, or that we can use over and over and over again instead of getting a rental. So with this dethatching process, there's actually 2 ways that we can do it. One is power raking, 2 is scarifying. So the process that we just did and you just saw was power raking, and that's the only thing that the Ego can do right now. This one has the ability to do both power raking and scarifying, and we'll talk about that here in a second on what's going on. Power raking is just, it's like aggressive raking. So there's these little tines that are on a drum that's inside the machine, and they're spinning around, and they're just raking that thatch or that dead grass out of your lawn. The scarifying process is a whole lot more aggressive, and there's vertical blades that are going down in the ground and actually cutting through that thatch layer and cutting down into the soil as well. So this is the power raking thing that we just saw was really just trying to scrape up out of the grass and the top layer of that thatch and just kind of scoop up anything dead and clear out that thatch layer. The scarifying one is going a little bit deeper and is definitely more aggressive and getting down a little bit deeper and opening up the dirt so that we can really get in there and do some things. In the spring, I definitely like power raking a little bit more. I like to power rake before I put on my pre-emergent, so I didn't quite get out there as early as I wanted to this year because of rain and all kinds of other excuse, insert here. But I power rake first, then I'll put down my pre-emergent. I would never put pre-emergent down before you power rake or dethatch, because you're gonna break that barrier. You want that solid barrier on your thatch layer or below your thatch layer from the pre-emergent, so it can block the crabgrass and the new weeds that are potentially going to try to grow in your lawn. So in the spring, I like to power rake and then put down pre-emergent. Where I like to use scarifying is in the fall. So I like to get a little bit more aggressive in the fall, especially up north where I'm at in cool season weather growing grasses. It's really nice that we can scarify, get really aggressive before winter, but soon enough where we have some time to let that grass grow and prepare for that winter season. So the scarifying process really chops down into that thatch layer. It gets down into the dirt layer, and it even partially gets down into the roots and kind of cuts some of those roots back. From the way that it was described to me at the golf course that I worked at, we did this on the greens, and there were multiple processes that kind of applied to what we're doing in our lawns. Was that vertical blade was cutting down, it was cutting the grass on the greens from growing out sideways. You wanted the grass to always be growing up. It was getting down and removing that thatch layer very aggressively, but then it was also cutting down in the dirt, and it was cutting the roots, which on a green is really nice because you're providing so much water and nutrients to it and everything it needs to grow. You were encouraging those roots to keep growing down rather than growing out. And when you didn't have roots growing out, it gave more space for water and nutrients to get in, but it also allowed grass to grow out horizontally and fill in those spaces. So the whole thing became thicker and more lush, and it was a better putting surface on the golf course. I think that kind of applies in our lawns too. If we get down there and get aggressive, we can get rid of some of that old grass and create spots for new stuff to germinate and grow, making the whole thing thicker. So then with that expert explanation out of the way, these two machines and what I've experienced. So this is the new one that I purchased just a week or two ago. This one works with Ego's multi-head system. So first off, right off the bat, both of these are great. Both of them work well. Right now, this one only has the power raking attachment. Scarifying attachment is coming soon, I'm told, and so hopefully we have this before fall, because I really want to test this out, do yet again another video of scarifying before fall. But this one, the Sunjoe, has the power rake and scarifier attachment already built, already with it and packaged in. So this worked perfectly fine. Did everything that I thought it was going to do. It did the job that it was supposed to and worked great. But it was fairly expensive. It's quality built, it's great, but it was fairly expensive. The only person I'm gonna ever recommend this to is somebody that already has the power head unit that this attaches to, or somebody that wants to buy into that system. There is no use buying this and the multi-head just to get a Dethatcher. This one honestly works better. It's a little bit wider, it's marginal, it doesn't really matter, but it makes you feel good. It's a little bit bigger. It has the power rake and the scarifier that comes with it. It has a bag in the back that actually collects stuff. This one doesn't have it. Honestly, I never used the bag anyway. When I was just power raking or scarifying, the only time I ever used the bag was after core aeration. I found out if you put the power rake attachment on there and the bag on there, you could pick up the plugs a whole lot easier. That was the only time that I ever used the bag, but it has one if you want one. No option for that. Not needed, but there isn't an option for it. And the big thing is this is cheaper. This is a lot cheaper than this guy, especially when you factor in the power rake or the multi-head thing that you need to actually run this. So this is awesome. This is cheaper and probably better. But if you're an Ego guy, this is the way to go, okay? So these machines are pretty plastic, but they work great. Arguably probably better than the ones that you can get at the rental because you now own them and they're not too aggressive. They just do the job that you want them to. So I think without over-explaining this too much more, both of these are awesome. I'm glad I have this one because I'm a multi-head guy, but if you're not, get this one. Dethatching works, it's awesome. Hopefully we understand the process a little bit better. Hopefully that answers most of the questions that I saw in the comments. If you have more, throw them down in the comments. If you got anything out of this, please give me thumbs up. That helps the channel so much. And if you like this, if you want to see how the scarifier attachments work on this on the future, or any of the other stuff I got going around here, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in a future video.